In this video, I'm going to show you how to locate, photograph, and edit a picture of a pileated woodpecker. I hope I said that right, but if not, correct me in the comments. I'd love to hear, I like to hear that sort of stuff. Also, while we're talking about comments, if there's anything that you're really struggling with photography-wise, then drop me a comment, let me know. I will make a dedicated video to that if enough people have a similar problem, or I'll try to help in any way I can. Sometimes it's good to just bounce ideas off other people's. Drop me a comment, let me know. We're gonna have some breakfast. I'm gonna go out in the woods. I'm gonna show you what you should look for when you're trying to find these type of woodpeckers. And one important thing is you have to listen for them. They make a lot of noise if you know what they sound like. So I'll try to maybe get some audio for you too. And then we'll see if we can find one and get a good picture of it, and then take it into the computer and try to edit it for you. I'll take you through the whole process so that way you can repeat it yourself. Stay tuned. This is exactly what you want to look for. Lots of rotten wood here. See this? You can see where they've already been pecking on it. I actually saw one when I walked up here. So I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna wait, see if they come back. But all of this dead wood on the edge of the swamp here is a perfect place for a beautiful woodpecker photo. The other thing about this that you should note is it's low to the ground. So you're not shooting up at the sky. It generates a better photo if you're on a level plane with the bird. So keep that in mind. Look for stuff that's a little bit lower to the ground, so that you will be in a better position to take a good photo. I think I got a photo of the woodpecker that's going to work. The woodpecker was down low on one of these stumps. It's going to be really nice. Side view of the bird instead of shooting up like a lot of people probably do. But anyways, I have to go back and look at it, and then I'll take you through the editing process, share, what I would do with the photo once I have it, which is not that much because I like natural looking photos. Anyhow, I wasn't able to get audio of a woodpecker, but I'll just add some I found on the internet so that you know what it sounds like. And you can kind of, when you're out walking around or when you're out at the park or whatever, if you hear one, you can kind of go in that general direction, and sometimes you can find them. So it's a really helpful tool in locating the woodpecker, because usually if you hear them at first making the call, then you'll hear them pecking on the tree, and then you can kind of narrow down your efforts a little bit. It makes it easier. We will see you in the editing room and see what we come up with. We're gonna dive right into editing the photo. And this is the photo that I chose. There's quite a few of them, but this is the one I really like. Check it out. With the settings, focal length 562 millimeter, which I have a 600 millimeter, so it was almost fully extended. Shutter speed 1 in 1,000 second. Aperture f6.3, which is as low as my lens will go at that focal length. ISO 4000, which is a little bit higher than I normally would shoot, but being it was handheld and it was early in the morning when the light was low, so I had to do that to get the photo. So the photo is not as sharp and as crisp as I wanted it to be, probably because of the ISO being a little high and not using a tripod. But anyhow, the first thing I would do is crop this down because I like the framing of this tree here, so that it kind of makes a little frame for the picture already. And again, you want this grid. It's called the rule of thirds. It's to help you with cropping. The eye is naturally drawn to these corners, so you want to keep the subject as close to that corner as possible. In this case, if I want to frame it up with the tree and use this stump as part of the photo, I can't put it exactly where the crosshair is, but I think it's close enough. The next thing I'm going to do is put the contrast at 19, and I wrote these down to speed things up a little bit. Vibrance at 24. This brings up the color in the photo. I'm not going to use the saturation slider because I don't want to saturate the whole photo. I just feel like the red on the woodpecker's head would stand out a little more with a little bit of saturation. You have to be very careful with saturation. It can ruin a photo. The next thing we're going to do is vignette. Vignette darkens the edges of the photo, and there's all these other adjustments for midpoint, roundness, and feather. If it comes too far down, you can adjust that, but this one I think it's fine the way it is. The next thing I'm going to do is sharpen the photo because it's not as sharp as I wanted it to be when I took it, and I really feel like it sharpening it in post in this situation doesn't affect the photo. The next thing I'm going to do is use the brush masking tool, and I've found that trees and rocks in either the foreground or the same focal plane as the animal or person really benefit from some clarity and some contrast to kind of separate them from the background without taking anything away from the subject. Maybe because of the dark edges that are in them. So we're going to give that a little of that, a little clarity. And the next thing I'm going to do is either, you can do this two ways. You can select the subject to pick the bird, but in some cases, especially with animals, it will not do what it's supposed to do. In this case, it selected the whole tree. So there's two ways you can go about fixing this. You can either delete this and just use the brush, or you can click the subtract button, select the brush, and then you can deselect this part of the mask like this. And we want to try to maybe add just this little part of his beak without getting into the background, because we want the background to be blurry and we want to separate the bird from the background. And the only thing I'm going to do with that mask is we're going to increase the shadows a little bit. This brings up the feathers, the definition in the feathers some, and some clarity. This will do the also bring up the definition in the feathers. And that's about it. If you're still here, thanks for watching. This is the second video I've done in this educational platform for photography. I learned a lot from YouTube in the last 5 years of doing photography. I've been traveling in this van I've been working on. I've been to so many interesting places. It's been a great experience, so I thought I would pass that along by doing some videos about what I've learned. If you would like to check out another video about a wood duck that I did, I'll attach it right here, and we'll see you over there.